Yeah, we go back to phones to Des Moines and Michael. Thank you for calling, sir. Great to have you on the EIB network. Hello.
Hey, Rush. How you doing? This is an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
And, hey, reason I'm calling is I got a little different take on Akin and, why he didn't back out. Everybody, I was just like most other people. I was extremely angry. I'm listening to his interview yesterday. He seemed clueless and everything, but let me set this up for about 5 seconds. I'm in sales, and what hit me when I was listening to him is when he said he's an engineer. And you know what? When I'm in sales right now, when I can get someone emotionally involved, I've got a huge chance of success. And whenever I run into an engineer, I'm at a dead end because you cannot get them emotionally involved. They're strictly looking at it analytically, and you just can't get them to make a decision. And I see this guy as, he's an engineer. He's looking at, I just made one mistake, one little misstep. And to him, that's such a small percentage of anything he's ever, that he can even comprehend. He can't comprehend the emotional aspect of this situation and how it can possibly affect this thing down the road.
Well,
he's looking at it as an engineer, and it's just like beating your head against the wall trying to get through to this man.
Yeah, but wait a second. In addition to being an engineer, he's a Marine, and he's a politician. He's been a politician for a lot of years. He's in the Missouri House of Representatives. He's in the U.S. House, Missouri House, and he certainly understands politics. And
absolutely,
he's got to be able to reach people on a certain emotional level to get their votes.
No, I agree with you there. I just think this is ingrained in him, though. I mean, when he said it, it struck a chord with me, and all I could see is so many engineers I sit down with, and they're the ones you can't get them emotionally involved, and this is a huge emotional issue.
Well, one thing that I will agree with you on, I probably would understand this. He no doubt thinks that he worked damn hard to get this far. And you're right, I think, in his mind, hey, I misspoke. Big deal. Mm-hmm. Okay, I apologized for it. Big deal. It's one mistake. I worked really hard for it. And he's a stick-to-it kind of guy, and so probably all of these appeals from people hardened him the other way. I think he became a little defiant. I know I would.
Yeah, that's my nature to a point. But when he sits there and says, he doesn't want to harm the party, he doesn't want to do this, he's totally detached that he is harming it. And he has totally decreased his chances of winning. He's totally decreased our chances of taking over the Senate. And,
Well, now, wait. If you're saying he's an engineer, he ought to be able to calculate that, right?
Right, but he's still stuck on that one little statement, this can't possibly, this is such a small percentage of everything I've done in my life that shouldn't preclude him. And he's not getting that, or he's not comprehending that, hey, this one little thing, this can't possibly explode into this big of an issue.
So are you making these assessments here as a means of excusing him?
No, I think I'm angry with what his decision is.
All right.
I'm trying to say is it ticks me off in that he can't separate himself from that. No, I'm not excusing him at all. I'm definitely not on his side.
All right. Well, I'm not accusing you. I just wanted to understand the vantage point that you were making this assessment from.
Oh gosh, no, I'm for taking over whatever we can possibly do it and have the best chance at it. And I just see him throwing us under a rock here, that's probably not the best term, but just making it a little bit more difficult when we don't need any distractions. And he's a distraction, and he says, "Oh, I'm in it for this isn't about me," is what he says. Well,
but no, see, that's it is. He made it totally. He put himself above everything else. See, he did the exact opposite. He put himself above everything. The future of the country, the cause, getting rid of Obama. He put himself above that. He's elevating himself to be more important than that. And that's what's irritating people. Most people, I think, if they try to put themselves in a similar circumstance, let's say that you fervently believe that your country is hanging by a thread, and you do something to weaken the thread, most people will say, I'm back. I don't want to hurt the cause. I do not want to set this effort back. And most people probably think of themselves behaving that way. They would put everything else above their own personal ambition, given the objective here. And when he doesn't do that and puts himself to that, that's what rubbed people the wrong way afterwards, I think. But you could be onto something with his engineering background and so forth. I appreciate the input, Michael. Thanks much. Roanoke, Virginia. And Kathy, you're up. Great to have you here. Hi.
Hey, Rush. Dittos from the city where Barack Obama proclaimed that I didn't build my business.
I tell you, women on this show have been on fire today.
Listen, I just wanted to respond to a previous caller that you had today, and she was talking about pulling out the page from the Affordable Health Care Act, Obamacare, about where it talks about he's cut the $716 billion from Medicare. Betsy McKeskey was on Fox this morning as a panelist, and she pulled it directly from the Affordable Care Act, the page and the paragraph where it talks about that doctors are going to be receiving less money for those Medicare patients in order to bump up the Medicaid. And she debated it and talked about it. It's in her book. And I just thought it was wonderful to finally hear someone talk about exactly where it was in that act. And
Betsy, you're referring to Betsy McCoy.
McCoy.
Yeah. If she spells it in a way that it doesn't look like McCoy. And so that's why you think it's Mackenzie, because it looks like that, but it's McCoy. Yeah. She has been a noted healthcare expert since the first days of Hillary Care. She has written books, commented extensively on it. I didn't see her on Fox yesterday morning, but if she went to the page and read from it, that's exactly, that caller was a woman from Philadelphia.
Yes.
And what she wants Romney and Ryan to do that, take that affordable care thing up there and actually read from it.
Well, because the thing that concerns me is, in my business, I deal with a number of senior citizens. And I was talking about it to some of them this morning. And their response to me is, are we going to be told about this? And, I'm saying, are you not educating yourselves? Are you not reading? Are you not, and it is a concern for me because I hear them saying this and they think exactly what the Democrats are trying to portray Romney and Ryan as being, that they're going to throw them over the cliff. And I just have to reiterate to them, you've got to educate yourself. You've got to read. Well, it's not true.
But see, you're doing it for them, and I think this is important. It's, Romney and Ryan are doing great on this, but they're up against an opposition media that's trying to, not cover what they're doing or mischaracterize it. And I think that we all are in this to try to get the message out to people that don't hear it or don't understand it. And the real frustrating thing, and if you do, let's say you go get a copy of the Affordable Care Act and you get that page, and you have your senior citizens come in, you're going to run into this. You're going to read from it, you're going to show it to them, and they're still not going to believe it because they won't believe that a Democrat would do that. And then you're going to really start pulling your hair out, going, what more do I have to do? It's right here. This is Obamacare. I'm reading to you. $716 billion of Medicare. That's you cut. And guess what for? To pay for health care for everybody else.
That's right.
And they're still not going to believe it. Some of them are not going to look at it. I've been doing this. You think you're frustrated? Try having a radio show that reaches 25 million people. 25 years, we're in our 25th year, I run into people all the time who don't know jack. And you, yeah, I know how frustrating it is my point. I know. Do you know how frustrating? I'll go play golf with my friends, and they'll say, you know what? Did you see that column written by X yesterday? And I said, no, what? Well, it made the greatest point. But I said, well, I said that 3 weeks ago. I don't say that to them because it doesn't matter. The fact that they end up knowing it is all that matters to me. But I'm just telling you, I know your frustrations. I can't tell you the number of people who throw back at me things I have said that they read somewhere else. You know, and I want to grab them by the collar. You doomcoff. And I said, what am I doing here? What did... Really? I don't have them on in here. CNN just ran my picture with Ryan and Romney over... Okay, Snurdly just told me that CNN just ran a graphic, a picture of me and Ryan and Romney, with the graphic that said Republicans who want Akin to go. Okay, fine and dandy. Well, like I told you, if I had told Akin to go yesterday, he'd be gone. I didn't do it. We'll be back after this. Don't go away.